Technology is my passion. We plan to venture into shipping yard, ports, oil and gas, and even in mining. And they won't invest a lot in the capital expenditure which the IoT demands. We got selected across the globe as one of the companies to be part of that program. Don't be a perfectionist, and that's what triggered to do something for our country. We tell yes to every opportunity, yes to every challenges.
Hello everyone, today we have Pratik Jani with us. Pratik is a CEO of Yups Technology Solutions, a new age entrepreneur, researcher, trainer and strategist. He is active in startup communities and also helps many young entrepreneurs. He believes in knowledge as power and always seeks for innovation in the field of machine learning, robotics, AI and IoT. So please welcome Pratik. So thanks Pratik joining us for Eureka Moment. And we would like to know more about you. So can you just brief us about yourself?
So as you just mentioned that I'm an entrepreneur by profession. Technology is my passion and I'm a designer at heart. So that sums up my things in 3 words. Professionally, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Yups Tech Solutions here in India and Zerek Technologies in Bahrain. And we are serving enterprises in IoT to help them make smarter decisions. On a personal level, I am a fitness enthusiast, traveler and a bookworm.
That's great.
So Pratik, we would like to know more about you and your initiative, and hence we have divided this interview into 4 different rounds. Starting with the first round, the pitch deck.
So Pratik, can you tell me more about your solution and services you provide in Yups Tech Solutions?
So basically Yups has a flagship product which is called Adi. It's a smart helmet for construction workers.
Okay.
So it helps the construction workers with safety and productivity.
Okay, that's great.
So it's a combination of hardware and software. So it helps the decision makers to make smarter decisions, reduces the accidents on the construction sites, and gives them the real-time visibility on what's happening on their sites.
That's great. That's great.
So what customers and market do you cater to?
So currently we are catering to the construction industry, the construction contractors who are willing to deploy digital technologies and transform their operations and processes.
Okay.
So that's a major focus currently. Over here in India, we have L&T as our one of the initial clients, and we are running pilots with different contractors both in both the regions in India as well as in the Middle East.
Okay. So talking about your company and all, so what you consider as a key strengths of your company?
The product what we have developed, which is for the safety of the workers, it has been developed from scratch up, keeping in mind the safety aspect of the whole solution. So that's one of our key USP, and because we are targeting such a dynamic industry which is the construction, which changes almost every day, we have made sure that it's very easy to deploy and also redeploy as the construction progresses in the time. And because of this aspect, we have also kept the solution to be highly scalable. So even if you want for 100 workers or you want for 1,000 workers,
because it makes
scalable.
Yes, it should be scalable as such because number of workers are there in construction.
So every site has its own size of construction workers. So that's what we have made sure that it's scalable as well.
Of course, that's great.
So what is your go-to market?
So we are catering to the construction industry currently. So once we gain a good market share in the construction industry, we plan to venture into shipping yard, ports, oil and gas, and even in mining. So because the helmets and the safety helmets are used almost in every industry, heavy industries which are there. And to reach to the customers, we directly approach the customers, or we have channel partners like the system integrators or safety equipment providers. So they help us to reach our
customers. Yes.
So do you have a strategy in place for this?
So the strategy is very simple, that we develop the product in such a way that it gives more value to the customer. So if the product itself has such a good value, so the client proactively ask for these kind of solutions.
So IoT solutions, basically it's not just a product, right? There are a lot of operations behind it. So how do you handle those operations? Because number of construction workers are more and it's a scalable solution. So how do you handle those operations thing?
What we have made sure that ours is a product but our business model is a service play.
Yes.
So we know that the customers, the IoT is a new technology for them, and they won't invest a lot on the capital expenditure which the IoT demands, the hardware which demands. So we have made the complete business model a service model. So the customer just pays for what he uses.
Of course.
But that makes our job difficult because we have to manage all the burden which we take up from the customer. So we have made our devices so smart enough that they are easy to deploy, first thing. So as I previously mentioned, so there is no, it's kind of a plug and play stuff. So you just plug it in on the sites and it's ready to work. So that's one of the things. Other thing is the devices report us each and every issue which it faces. So it helps our support team to make smarter decisions that exactly where and what to focus on. And in case of any firmware changes, we can handle it remotely. So we don't need to have to send our engineers on the site and do the stuff. So that's how we are dealing with the solution.
So is there any other country that you are currently catering to other than India?
Yeah, so recently we have started the operations in Middle East with the office being in Bahrain. So that's where we are starting the operations now.
Any reason you decided to have an office in Bahrain?
It was both a strategic point as well as by luck or accidentally we can say. So strategically because we always wanted, because we are serving the construction industry and Middle East is known for construction. So that was a major aspect. And we had applied for a program which is Brink Accelerator program and they have their center in Middle East and we got selected across the globe as one of the companies to be part of that program.
Being in a technological industry, technology changes very rapidly. So how do you keep your company updated with the new technologies?
So one of the things what we have at Yups is basically we have these knowledge sharing sessions which we called as Wisdom Saturdays. So in Wisdom Saturdays what we do is all the team comes together and shares whatever they have learned throughout the week or on a regular basis we have these sessions. So there is a information flow across the departments. So it's not that just the tech people share with tech people. It is like the tech people share with everyone. So even the marketing and the sales team is aware that what the tech is doing and what level of technology they are working on. And same thing, the marketing and sales, if they have interacted with some new customers, they have brought in some new ideas, they share it with the whole team. So we know that this is what the customers are looking for and that's how we evolve.
So we have finished with the first round. We will start with the second round, which is Un, dos, tres.
So Pratik, 3 important technologies which you think will change the world.
So something which comes top of the mind is artificial intelligence, then robotics, which is both in macro scale as well as in nano scale, and transportation tech, like the Hyperloop is coming out, so that will change the face of the world in the near future.
3 learnings from your previous mistakes.
One is don't be a perfectionist. So that was one of my problems in the initial days, that I wanted all the things to be as it is. So try not to do all the things so perfectly, but at least try to do these things as and when it requires your attention. So that is something that's the first thing. Don't be a perfectionist. Try to be more focused on just one aspect of your business rather than dabbling around multiple ideas together and thinking, okay, I can do even this, I can do even this, because you have the technical expertise, but you can't handle everything together. So that is something what you need to focus on. And the third would be hire faster.
So Pratik, 3 countries you want to expand your business.
One of the things what we are already doing, which is the Middle East, which is the Gulf countries. Next country would be the North American market. And finally China.
In your business itself, so 3 indicators which you see which is saying that your business is not going right or you're not going in the right direction.
Silence would be one of the aspects. That if everything is silent, it means that something is not moving. So if something is not right, we need to again trigger that fire in everyone and get moving in the direction what we are moving. Other thing might be something like a struggle, or if there are lots of complaints amongst the team, or that's when we think that okay, something is not
going right.
and other times you just feel that something is not going right.
Intuition.
Yeah, intuition, gut feeling, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
But it just feels that way that okay, this is not what we want to do, or this is not what we are aligned
Yes.
with. So sometimes it also feels with some customers.
Yeah.
So the customer proactively asks for some solution, but we see that okay, he's not the one who would like to cater to, or
Yeah.
something on those lines. So
Right.
sometimes it just feels that way.
Yeah.
3 books that you would like to recommend.
One of my favorite books is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So I've even gifted many of those copies to everyone.
Yes.
The next one would be Wings of Fire, the autobiography of APJ Abdul Kalam. And lastly, I would like to suggest Rework. So Rework is by Jason and David. So it helps to give you more business perspectives,
Yes.
not the traditional business way, but from a different perspective.
Different perspective. So here we come to the end of our second round, and we are moving towards our favorite round, that is the Eureka Moment round. So let's start with it. Pratik, can you tell us more about your Eureka Moment, and can you share it to our audiences?
So the journey of Yup started when we read Wings of Fire and Ignited Minds by APJ Abdul Kalam back in our college, and that's what triggered to do something for our country.
Yep.
So right after college we started off with Yups. So people always ask us that what does Yups mean? Is there any full form on these things? So we always say Yups means Yup, which means yes. So
Yeah.
we tell yes to every opportunity, yes to every challenges.
Yeah.
So that's what Yup means. So that's how it started. So initially we had a brand which is Yups Robotics, so which catered to giving curriculums for schools and colleges in terms of emerging technologies like robotics, giving project-based learning curriculum. So we were one of the initial companies in India to have this kind of curriculum for schools. So that is what we did, and because we were so closely associated with emerging technologies, we also used to get project orders from companies. So that's when Yups transitioned into being a design house for enterprises and serving the likes of Tata Communications, L&T, Jio for that matter. So, and over the time we came across a very massive opportunity to digitize the construction space, and that's when we found that okay, this is something what we would like to pursue as a full-time stuff, and that's when the vision of Connected Workers was born.
And any particular phase or line or anything you want to quote from that book that just triggered the stuff?
So during our phase in the educational technology space, we always used to start our session with this quote which says, learning gives creativity,
Yes.
creativity leads to thinking,
Yes.
thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge makes us great.
Wow.
So that was some quote what we always used to share with our students, and that is something which we live by.
So thanks Pratik for your Eureka Moment. We will start with the next round, which is the last round, the rapid fire round.
One thing you will do if you get $1 million.
$1 million, I would invest that to make it compound and get more out of it.
Choose one of them: narrowband, IoT, LoRa, or 5G.
Difficult one. 5G.
Okay.
Complete the sentence. 10 years later, I will be.
I would be running multiple businesses and traveling across the world,
Okay. That's
and
good.
just working maybe a couple of hours in the complete whole week.
A person which you admire the most.
Again, the inspiration is APJ Abdul Kalam.
Okay, that's good. So one wish you want to come true.
So there are lots of wishes. So picking one would be a difficult one, but maybe to make the world a better place.
So any message that you want to share with the youth?
Keep learning and always try to move out of your comfort zone. So that's where actual learning takes place. So always be ready for the change.
So excellent, it was a great round, and here we come to the end of our interview, and we would like to thank Pratik for coming over here and giving his valuable time and his insights, and it was a great story to share also. So thanks a lot, and if you enjoyed this video, do like,
Share.
Subscribe.
thank you, thanks a lot.